What if I told you that right now in your own kitchen, there is something silently harming your body? Something you may have already consumed this morning without realizing it. Something that, drop by drop, day after day, is quietly shutting down two of the hardest working organs you have. And the most dangerous part? You believe it's completely harmless. Today, on Longevity Nutrition, we are talking about your kidneys. Two small organs about the size of your fists, working around the clock. They filter your blood, remove toxins, balance fluids, and quite literally, keep you alive. Most people believe the kidneys are strong and resilient. They assume kidney damage only happens with severe disease or powerful prescription drugs. As long as there's no pain, everything must be fine. But the truth is the exact opposite. Your kidneys are masters of silence. They can be damaged for years without sending clear warning signals. No pain, no obvious symptoms, until the damage is already severe and often irreversible. Today, I'm going to show you 5 everyday poisons that quietly sabotage your kidneys without you realizing it. Things you likely do or consume every single day, believing they are normal or even healthy. And most importantly, I'll show you how to protect yourself from each one before it's too late. Stay with me until the very end, because the 5th poison is the most dangerous of all. The number 1 silent killer of kidney health. And I promise you this, when you find out what it is, you will be surprised. But before we begin, there is one critical thing you must understand. As we age, the rules change. As the years go by, the rules quietly change. Just like your eyesight slowly weakens or the first gray hairs appear, your kidneys age as well. Their filtering capacity, what doctors call the glomerular filtration rate, gradually declines with every decade of life. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but silently. Imagine your kidneys like the engine of a car that has already driven hundreds of thousands of miles. It still runs. It still gets you where you need to go. But it no longer has the same power, resilience, or reserve it had when it was new. Now imagine pouring low-quality fuel into that aging engine. Imagine forcing it to climb steep hills every single day. What happens? Exactly. It breaks down far sooner than it ever needed to. This is precisely what many people do to their kidneys over 50, 60, even 70 years, without realizing it. Habits that caused little harm in youth slowly leave behind tiny scars over time, and those scars accumulate. This cumulative damage is what eventually leads to chronic kidney disease and, in the worst cases, complete kidney failure. And now we arrive at the first poison, and this one surprises almost everyone, because it's not something you eat, it's not something you drink, it's something you don't do. I'm talking about physical inactivity, about sitting for hours on the couch in front of the television, in front of a screen, or simply moving less as the years go by. You might be wondering right now, what does sitting have to do with my kidneys? The answer is simple: everything. Your kidneys are completely dependent on strong, healthy blood flow. Without it, they cannot do their filtering job properly. Picture a powerful, fast-moving river. The water flows freely, carries away waste, and stays clear and clean. Now picture a stagnant puddle. No movement, no flow. Sludge builds up. Everything begins to rot. The water becomes toxic. Your circulatory system is that river. When you move, when you walk, stand up, or climb stairs, your heart pumps more forcefully. Blood flows with pressure through your body and reaches the millions of tiny filters inside your kidneys. This strong circulation gives your kidneys the power they need to remove toxins efficiently. But when you sit for hours, everything slows down. Blood flow becomes sluggish, like stagnant water. And this opens the door to 3 of the worst enemies of kidney health: excess weight, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. In my experience, Lack of movement is one of the most underestimated accelerators of kidney decline with age. It doesn't hurt. It makes no noise. But it is relentless. And now for the good news. You do not need to become an athlete. Don't panic. No one is asking you to completely change your life overnight. The first step is surprisingly simple. Interrupt long periods of sitting. If you spend much of your day seated, start by standing up regularly. Set a reminder to go off every hour. Stand up, take a few steps, stretch your arms, move your legs. This alone is enough to reactivate circulation, as if the gates of a river were opening again. The next step is a daily walk. No pressure, no speed requirement. Start with 10 minutes at your own pace. The following week, add 5 more minutes. What matters here is not intensity, it's consistency. Walking is one of the most kidney-friendly forms of movement there is. It strengthens the heart, helps control blood sugar, lowers blood pressure, and delivers fresh, oxygen-rich blood directly to your kidneys. And if walking is difficult, there are always alternatives. Seated movements, arm circles, lifting your legs, rotating your ankles. Every bit of movement helps. Remember this sentence: every movement is better than no movement. Every step, every time you stand up, is like a wave of fresh water washing through your kidneys, giving you energy for your family, for movement, for life itself. But if you think inactivity is already dangerous, wait until you hear about the next poison, because this one is consumed daily by most people, firmly believing they are doing something healthy for their body. Now we come to the poison I consider the most dangerous of them all. The number one substance destroying kidneys worldwide, often without anyone noticing until it's too late. And what makes this truly alarming is this: most people consume it every single day and genuinely believe it does no harm. I'm talking about sugar and its inseparable partner in crime, refined flour. This white, sweet substance doesn't just live in desserts, candy, or soda. It hides in white bread, pasta, crackers, cookies, breakfast cereals, sauces, and ultra-processed foods. In my experience, this duo is the primary reason why diabetes is now the leading cause of kidney failure across the world. And I want to be very clear here. Sugar does not attack your kidneys slowly and gently. It launches a coordinated, multi-front assault. Imagine 4 enemy armies attacking at the same time. That's what sugar does to your kidneys. The first attack is the direct road to type 2 diabetes. Every high-sugar meal spikes blood glucose levels. Your body is forced to release more and more insulin until your cells stop responding properly. That's how insulin resistance develops. And chronically high blood sugar scars the delicate filters inside your kidneys, relentlessly, scar by scar. The second attack is high blood pressure. We now know that sugar raises blood pressure just as dangerously as excess salt, and high pressure inside kidney blood vessels is pure poison. The third attack is silent inflammation. Sugar acts like fuel on a fire inside the body. It creates chronic inflammation you don't feel, but which slowly damages the tiny blood vessels of the kidneys. And the fourth attack is excess weight and fatty liver. Extra sugar is converted into fat. That fat disrupts metabolism throughout the body and places an additional burden on the kidneys. That's why I say without hesitation, sugar is the number one silent killer of kidney health. But now comes the good news. And this is where hope begins. This is the most important part, because knowledge alone changes nothing. What matters is what you do differently starting today. The first step is awareness. Sugar hides behind many names: glucose syrup, fructose, sucrose, dextrose, maltose. Different labels, same sweet toxin. Start reading ingredient lists, not casually, but intentionally. The second step is radically simple. Eliminate liquid sugar, sodas, sweetened juices, bottled iced teas, energy drinks. This is sugar that hits your bloodstream without breaks. A single can can contain more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. 10 teaspoons at once. Your kidneys are the ones that pay the price. Replace these drinks with water, sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon, or unsweetened herbal teas. This single change alone can be one of the most powerful protections for your kidneys. The third step is skepticism toward low-fat products. When fat is removed, sugar is often added to preserve taste, especially in yogurts, cereals, and processed desserts. Choose plain, natural foods instead. Plain yogurt instead of fruit yogurt. If you want sweetness, add fresh fruit yourself. The fourth step is replacing refined flour with real whole foods. True whole grain bread, oats, brown rice. The fiber slows sugar absorption and significantly reduces the burden on your kidneys. And finally, return to real food. Fresh vegetables, fruit, legumes, eggs, fish, nuts. Foods your grandparents would still recognize as food. When your diet is built around real food, sugar naturally fades out of your daily life. Letting go of sugar is one of the most powerful acts of self-protection you can take for your kidneys and for your future. But we're not done yet, because there is another poison that millions of people take every day without realizing how dangerous it can be for kidney health. Now we come to a poison that exists in almost every household, very likely in your bathroom cabinet. It's the pill people take just once. For a headache, for back pain, for arthritis, or joint discomfort. I'm talking about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, diclofenac, and naproxen. Millions of people take them regularly, believing they are harmless because many are available without a prescription. And that is exactly where the illusion lies. These medications are effective at reducing pain, but when used frequently or long-term, they can be devastating for the kidneys, especially as we get older. Here's why. Your kidneys rely on a constant, strong blood supply to filter toxins from the body. This blood flow is maintained by natural substances called prostaglandins, which keep the tiny kidney blood vessels open. Painkillers work by blocking these prostaglandins. They reduce pain, yes, but they also block your kidney's protective mechanism. The result is simple and dangerous. Kidney blood vessels constrict, blood flow drops, oxygen delivery decreases. Imagine repeatedly kinking a garden hose. Less water reaches the plant. The plant begins to wither. That is exactly what happens to your kidneys. The most dangerous part is how silent the damage is. People who take these medications daily often damage their kidneys slowly and steadily, without obvious warning signs. Until one day more than half of kidney function is already gone. Does this mean you must live with pain? Of course not. Pain is part of life. Quality of life matters. No one should suffer unnecessarily, but the key is conscious use. First, do not take these pain medications long-term on your own. If pain lasts more than a few days, the solution is not to keep reaching for another pill. The solution is to identify the cause. Have an open conversation with a physician. Disclose everything you take, including over-the-counter drugs, supplements, and herbal products. Many cold, sleep, and allergy medications contain hidden painkillers without people realizing it. Second, for occasional pain, there are often kidney-friendlier options. Acetaminophen, when used at correct doses, is generally far less stressful for the kidneys than many anti-inflammatory pain medications. And don't overlook non-drug options. Physical therapy, gentle stretching, heat or cold applications can provide significant relief. The most important rule to remember is this: pain medications are powerful tools. They help when used intentionally, but using them daily without medical supervision is playing with fire, and your kidneys are the ones that get burned. If you believed these pills were harmless, the next poison may shock you even more, because it's found in nearly every kitchen in the world. Now we come to a poison that most people dramatically underestimate, something many believe they have under control, when in reality they don't. I'm talking about salt. More specifically, sodium. Many people say confidently, "I hardly use salt, I barely touch the salt shaker." And that is exactly where the misunderstanding begins. The real problem is not the salt you add with your hand while cooking. The real problem is the salt hidden inside processed foods. More than 75% of the sodium people consume daily comes from packaged and processed foods, not from the salt shaker. It's in bread even when it doesn't taste salty. In deli meats, cheese, canned soups, sauces, frozen meals, pizza, and snack foods. Why does the food industry do this? Because salt extends shelf life and makes products hyper-palatable and addictive. For your kidneys, this is disastrous. When too much sodium enters your body holds onto water to dilute it. Blood volume increases. Pressure inside your blood vessels rises. The result is high blood pressure, the second leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. Picture the delicate filters in your kidneys like fine silk. Now imagine blasting that silk with a high-pressure fire hose every single day. That is what chronic high blood pressure does to your kidneys. The damage is slow, silent, but deeply destructive. But once again, there is hope. The solution begins with a mental shift. This is not about eating bland food for the rest of your life. It's about consciously choosing what enters your body. The most powerful skill you can develop is reading food labels. Turn every package around and look for the words sodium or salt. You may be shocked by how much is hiding in foods that don't even taste salty. General recommendations suggest staying around 2,000 to 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. If you already have high blood pressure, your target should be even lower. The second key step is cooking more meals at home. When you cook, you are in control. Not a factory, not a label. The third step is a gift to your taste buds. Rediscover natural seasonings: garlic, onions, black pepper, turmeric, paprika, oregano, rosemary, cumin. Lemon juice and vinegar add brightness and depth without adding sodium. And here's a simple but extremely effective trick. If you buy canned vegetables or beans, rinse them under running water for about 30 seconds. This alone can remove a significant portion of added salt. After a few weeks of reduced sodium intake, something remarkable happens. Your taste buds recalibrate. You begin to notice the real flavors of food again. Many people report feeling lighter, retaining less water, and experiencing an overall improvement in well-being. But we're not finished yet, because there is one final poison that shocks many people the most, because it contradicts everything they've been told about healthy eating. Now we arrive at the final poison, and for many people this one is the most shocking of all, because it contradicts what we've been taught our entire lives. We're told that more meat means strength, more protein means health, especially as we age. But when it comes to your kidneys, the truth is more nuanced. Every time you eat protein, waste products like urea and creatinine are created. And who is responsible for removing them? Your kidneys. When you consume excessive amounts of animal protein over decades, your kidneys are forced into constant heavy labor, meal after meal, year after year. Research shows that regularly exceeding about 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day can significantly overload kidney filtration, especially in older adults. Processed meats are particularly harmful. Sausages, deli meats, cured meats, they deliver a double hit: high protein, extremely high sodium, plus chemical additives, a silent cumulative assault, not today, not tomorrow, but over 50, 60, 70 years. But here is the critical distinction. Not all protein is equal. Plant-based protein from lentils, beans, chickpeas, nuts, and seeds places far less strain on the kidneys. Does this mean you must become vegetarian? No. This is about balance and moderation. Alternate intentionally. Animal protein one day, plant-based protein the next. Reserve processed meats for rare occasions. Keep animal protein portions moderate, about the size of your palm. By doing this, you give your kidneys, after decades of hard work, the breathing room they deserve. Now you know the 5 poisons that silently burden your kidneys every single day. Physical inactivity, slowing blood flow like stagnant water, sugar and refined flour, launching a coordinated attack on kidney function, pain medications, quietly reducing the life-sustaining blood flow your kidneys depend on, hidden salt, driving blood pressure higher and damaging delicate kidney filters, and finally, excessive animal protein, overworking your kidneys for decades without relief. But here is the most important message I want you to remember. Every one of these poisons is within your control. You don't need expensive medications. You don't need miracle supplements. You don't need extreme diets. You decide whether you stand up and move every hour. You decide whether you choose water instead of sugar-filled drinks. You decide whether you rely on daily pills or seek real medical guidance. You decide whether you read labels and avoid sodium traps. And you decide whether you give your kidneys balance through thoughtful nutrition. This is not about perfection. No one expects you to change everything at once. It's about one small decision today and another one tomorrow. Every conscious choice is an act of respect for your body and an investment in your future. Your kidneys have an incredible ability to stabilize and protect what function remains when you give them what they need: movement, clean water, real food, and less unnecessary strain. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 poisons surprised you the most? Leave a comment below. Your words might help someone else take their first step toward better health. And if you found this information valuable, share it with someone you love. Sometimes one conversation can change a life. Longevity Nutrition.